Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi guys, welcome back to my video. So today I will to explain for you about translation technique. But I'm not alone. I have a friend to will explain about this about translation technique. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Oni-chan. I'm from PBI 5 and my friend is.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Madina Al-Munawwarah. I am the second speaker for the 5th group and we are going to discuss about the translation technique.
And we are from group 5. So keep watching this video and enjoy. Thank you. Okay guys, the first step to learn about translation technique, we must know and understand about definition of translation technique. So, before I will to explain about this, you should to bring this translation book. For what? For make you more understand about this, about translation technique. Alright. So, translation technique. Translation technique divided into two words. First is translation. Translation is process of changing word from original text to another text. And the second is technique. Technique is a practical method, skill or art applied to a particular task. So, translation technique is procedure to analyze and classify how two translation equivalence works. Alright, that is about translation technique. Now, we will go to about kinds of translation technique. So, keep watching this video. Alright guys, now I and my friend will to explain about kinds translation technique. So first is borrowing. Borrowing is taking a word from original text into another text. For example, because we are from Indonesian, so I will to borrowing English word in English word to Indonesia word. Okay, for example of source text. Remember English word as a source text and Indonesia as a target text. So the example is mall. The target text is mall, and then the source text is television. So the target text is televisi. And the last computer, and the target text is computer. Alright, next the kinds of translation technique is calqui. Sorry guys if I wrong to pronounce this, because I don't know how to pronounce this. So calqui is the literal translation of a foreign word or phrase. For example is in the source text is weekend, and the target text is akhir pekan, and then vice president. So the target text is wakil presiden, and formal education. The target text is pendidikan formal. Alright, next is literal technique. So literal technique is translation method focus on the source text. So for example is in the source text is I have a car. So the target text is saya punya mobil. Remember guys, literal technique like if you want to translate, you need to change the position like Toba Lake. So the target text is Danau Toba, not like that. So the another example is like I miss you. Saya rindu kamu. Like that. Okay, the next of kinds of translation technique is synonym. Synonym is finding the most similar word for the target text. For example, in the source text, what a cute baby you've got. So the target text is alangkah lucunya bayi kamu. And like you are so cute. So the target text is kamu imut banget. So the cute word have same meaning in Indonesia word that is lucu and imut. Next is adaptation. So adaptation is to find the cultural equivalency of the source language in the target language. For example, in the source text, Dear Sir, and the target text, dengan hormat. It should not be translated literally as Tuan yang terhormat. So, adaptation it means to find meaning that is correct or suitable for translation. Alright, next is cultural equivalency. Cultural equivalency is replacing the special word of source text with another special word in the target text. For example, in the source text, minggu depan Jaksa Agung Andi Galip akan berkunjung ke Swiss. And the target text, next week the Attorney General Andi Galip will visit to Switzerland. So guys, if you want to more understand about this topic, you can see in this book, translation book, on page 58. So, please focus in the source text and please focus on Jaksa Agung. Why? Because Jaksa Agung is a special word in Indonesia. As the translator tries to find another special word in English. So, in English, Jaksa Agung replaced into Attorney General. Alright, and the seventh kinds of translation technique is contextual conditioning. Contextual conditioning is to give information in the context to make the message of source text sounds clear in the target text. For example, in the source text, the Mustang was the fastest in the race. Please remember, as a translator, you must know and understand each word that will to translate. So, from the text, the unfamiliar word is the Mustang. So, the translator must understand about the Mustang. And the meaning of Mustang is horse. So, the target text is kuda Mustang itu adalah yang tercepat dalam pacuan tersebut. Okay guys, next is established equivalence. So, established equivalence is to use an expression recognized as an equivalence in the target text. For example, in the source text, they are as like as two peas. And the target text is mereka seperti pinang yang dibelah dua.
Okay, so for the next it is about the generalization. So basically, what is generalization? Generalization is the technique that when we are going to make something specific become more general. For example, when we are going to translate something specific in one country, but it is not really specific in another country. For example, the word penthouse. Penthouse is not really well known in some countries, so we are going to translate penthouse into tempat tinggal. And also, for example, beca. Beca is not really well known in some countries. So for example, in Indonesia, we are going to say like this: I am going with beca. You can translate it beca into a vehicle. Second is the particularization. This is the opposite of the generalization, where in particularization you are just need to particular it. For example, if it is in the big or in the general one, for example, someone said to you like, I come here by the air transportation. You just can directly translate the word the air transportation into, for example, aeroplane or the helicopter. Or for example, when someone is speaking in English, but we are going to translate it into bahasa, for example, like, I come here by the mass transportation. By the word mass transportation, you can just directly translate it into I or saya datang ke sini dengan bus. The mass transportation, you can just translate it into bus. Next, there is the compensation. So basically, compensation is the way of translating where we are going to make a match between one language to another language and also with the logic. For example, when you are going to say something like this. In some words, they are in plural and singular. For example, glasses. Glasses or kacamata, in English, it is a pair. So it is sepasang. But in bahasa, a glasses means sebuah. So it means that when we are counting kacamata, it is only one. So, for example, there is in a text, I have a pair of glasses. You just can directly say, saya punya sebuah kacamata, and not saya punya sepasang kacamata. And the second is, for example, your highness. Your highness, if you translate it word by word, your means kamu and highness kemuliaan. But it is not really good, so you have to make a compensation in that, become kemuliaan Anda, no? So it is become yang mulia. And also, for example, in a sentence, when someone say, never did I cheat. If you translate it literally word by word, it is not going to be good for the structure of the sentence. So you have to make it, saya benar-benar tidak pernah mencontek. The next is about the transposition. Transposition is basically translating with changing the grammatical. So basically, in one language with another language, there are some grammatical rules. So, for example, in bahasa and English, for example, when someone say beautiful girl, we put beautiful before the girl because the adjective comes before the noun. But when you are going to translate it into bahasa, you have to make it as gadis cantik, not cantik gadis. Because in our grammatical, we have to put the adjective after the noun. And another one is the structure of a sentence. For example, someone say, it's great to be silent when you are angry. You can say that itu hebat untuk diam ketika kamu marah, but it is not really good in structuring the sentence. If it is better when you say, lebih baik kamu diam ketika marah. Number 13 is about the modulation. So basically, what is modulation? Modulation is translating one sentence to another language by making a different angle. For example, the word in English, I cut my finger. It is really normal if they say it, I cut my finger, but you cannot just directly translate it, saya memotong jari saya, because it is really rare to find understanding due to the sentence. It's about the angle that it is done on purpose or not. If you translate it correctly, you can make it as saya mengiris jari saya or jari saya tersayat. It is the same as the sentence I broke my leg. Saya mematahkan kaki saya. It doesn't mean that it is done on purpose, but it is an accident. You can say it as kaki saya patah. Number 14, it is about the addition. Addition, it means that the theory of the translation, it is edited by another based on the grammatical. For example, the sentence saya guru. When you are going to say that you are a teacher, in bahasa, you can say just saya guru. It is a complete sentence that shows that you are a teacher. But you cannot directly translate it into English or any other language but saying that way. So, for example, in this term, you have to add am and a to complete that sentence. Because in English, there must be to be as the replacement of the verb. So, To translate saya guru, you can make it as I am a teacher. Next, it is about the amplification. So basically, amplification is a technique in translating when we are going to paraphrasing the word. So for example, there are some words that is not well known in one country, but we are going to translate it so it can be generally known. For example, the word like Ramadan, Sholat, and Puasa, for example. For example, like Ramadan. People in Western or in Europe and the other countries, maybe who are dominated by the Christian, they don't know what is Ramadan. So when you are going to translate these words, you have to make it by the simpler definition. For example, you translate Ramadan become fasting month. Or for example, Salat. You can to translate Salat into Muslim praying. Or in another kind of word which are really not well known, or maybe it's a feature of a group, a religion, or an ethnic, or in a nation. Number 16, it's about the reduction. So reduction, it is about the deleting some words which are not really important, or maybe we can replace it with a simpler one. For example, the word when someone said dia sama seperti ibunya. So we are making differences between the kid and the mother. You can just directly say it as just like her mother or just like his mother. You don't have to really translate word by word for those phrases. Next, it's for example just an equitable treatment. Sometimes in making one phrase, it is just need one word in our language. For example, like just an equitable treatment. Equitable treatment, you can just make it as adil. The 17th and the last, it is about discursive creation. So basically, discursive creation is a translating by which a non-lexical is established that only works in the context. So maybe for example, you are going to translate one word, but it is not really well known. So you can add some. For example, when someone make the story of Malin Kundang. Malin Kundang is not really well known and it is not giving any explanation about what is Malin Kundang itself or about the story. So, for example, when you are going to translate Malin Kundang, you can also make it this way. The betrayed son, Malin Kundang. So, the betrayed son, it is about translating the point of the story so it becomes more interesting.
Well, that's all about translation technique. And then before we close this video, we want to apologize if we there have a mistake by our language. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.